This week on Pixel Realms, PlayStation 5 prices go up, WoW finally gets player housing, Knight Silksong has a release date at last, after 7,000 years, plus Fallout Season 2, Resident Evil Requiem, and more big reveals. Let's get right on into it. And as always, to stay up to date on Pixel Realms, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Joe, we've had a surprisingly big week when it started really quiet. And then Gamescom happened, which I did not even realize that I didn't know Gamescom was a thing.
Well.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, because of that, we got a boatload of news, and I guess we'll start right off with more of the big. I guess you could say the big game, right? Like I'd say Resident Evil Requiem is probably the most. Everyone, well, that and Hollow Knight, I would say, are the two big things that everyone's excited about.
Which is interesting because they're both on the completely different planes in terms of, Resident Evil being a huge AAA game and Hollow Knight being an indie developer. And, the budgets are astronomically different. Astronomically different. So it's interesting to see, and I love to see this we talked about it before, but this increase with indie games. I love seeing it. Like I had to talk to a coworker yesterday and he's like, why does the console never have any good games? I was like, well, because they're all from AAA studios. All the decent, like he loves horror games. I'm like, all the horror indie games are all on PC.
He's in the wrong. If he's a horror fan, he's in the wrong market, my friend.
There's a new one every week.
Dude, there's more. Like, so not to get deep into anything off topic, but one of the streamers that I watch a lot, Iron Mouse, she plays buku horror games, and she played like 5 or 6 of them just this past week, and that was on top of playing 2 bigger games because she played through Outlast 1 and 2, but then she played she played through 4 or 5 indie horror games that they range from completely ridiculous to completely shitty to good, but it's still, the fact of the matter is that you're in a wrong area if you're looking for horror games. Console is not gonna be your bag. That's just out of the question.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, go get a $500 PC. You can get something cheap. You can plug it into your TV. You can just go get a cheap keyboard and mouse, and you're set. Like, you don't need a whole lot when it comes to PC.
There are tons of horror games that you can buy sub $10 that are like they're going to be hit and miss.
Yeah,
but I mean, you could and then there's always catching big games like those games, like Outlast. I mean, Outlast 1 has been out forever, and every big sale, it probably goes on sale for sub $5 sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you can catch the big games and these little cheapo games. So
I can't believe it's going to be 5 years since Resident Evil Village came out.
I didn't know it'd been. Well, I guess it makes sense, but it doesn't feel like it makes sense. It
doesn't. Like, I didn't even beat Village yet. I loved it. I probably got halfway through. I did beat Biohazard. I love that one. And 6, of course. But yeah, so this is interesting. So I got to hurry up and beat. I got about a year to beat Resident Evil Village before. I'll have to restart that game because I don't remember anything about it.
And don't forget DLC.
And the DLC, yeah. And of course, there was a remake of 4 recently. Well, I guess it's been 2 years, almost 2 now. Jeez.
Yeah, time flies. And Resident Evil Requiem, I guess we're having a new character. I mean, I'm not a big Resident Evil guy, but obviously, I don't know who Grace Ashcroft is. Obviously, I know you're Chris Redfield's, your Claire's, your other mainstay characters, but so I'm guessing Grace is completely new.
It must be. I don't know enough about Resident Evil either. It's more probably my cousin's kind of thing, but either way, I'm excited. I haven't really watched a lot. I haven't kept up with it a lot, but the last 2 new games from them have been really, really stellar, and I've loved both of them. So I highly doubt they're going to disappoint us. And they've also gone into this really deep horror atmosphere.
It looks like, what was the one in the house with the weird family?
BioWare. or sorry, BioWare, Biohazard.
Biohazard, but isn't
Yeah.
that just isn't Biohazard though the Japanese name for Resident Evil?
I don't know. Well, that was the title of the game, Resident Evil Biohazard.
Was it?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Resident Evil 7
All right.
Biohazard.
Okay, so Resident Evil 7, it seems like what little video I watched of it, it seems like this new Resident Evil was playing a little bit more on the Resident Evil 7 side, where it's a bit more horror aspect with
I like that.
jump scares than it does like, because the character was holding like a lighter in her hand and whatnot. She wasn't holding a gun like a Chris Redfield, type character would.
7 was definitely about hiding, and there was your shooting and all that. Village definitely was more of your closer to traditional Resident Evil kind of games, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But BioWare, I keep seeing BioWare, Biohazard.
Yeah, because Biohazard and BioWare, I get why I get the mix up.
Biohazard is definitely was very unique to the Resident Evil world in terms of the first person, viewpoint, and then just a lot more. It was like Outlast. It was like a mixture of Outlast with Resident Evil, but it executed extremely well.
Yeah, they're not my style of games. I would have preferred another return. I would have preferred a return to, your Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 style than this. But hey, I mean, Resident Evil 7 did very, very well. It was a huge game, and a lot of people played it. Yeah. It was a big streaming game for a while when it came out as well. So, and it's Resident Evil, right? Yeah. It's not gonna do bad unless they fuck it up. And Capcom is many things. They don't seem to fuck up their main titles.
Yeah. Thankfully,
they're not BioWare. They're not BioWare, and they're not EA and Ubisoft. So
John Carpenter. Carpenter. His name's going to come up a little bit later as well. But to start off with, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. I've never heard of it before, but apparently it's. I don't know if this is like a.
I know Toxic Crusader. I don't know Toxic Commando.
I don't know if this is like a book that he wrote or something. But anyways, an upcoming 80s first-person co-op shooter developed by Saber Interactive. Now, the only reason why I say there may be some success with this is if they take the same way that what's that company called? I can't remember the name of the company that made it, but take the same way that RoboCop. They're very.
You're thinking. Okay.
They're very, very consistent with having that 80s feel. When you play RoboCop, you definitely feel like you went back in time and you're in the 80s. Very true to the movies. Very true to a lot of the origins of RoboCop. If it's the same thing with this Toxic Commando. I don't know if this is actually a movie. I don't know if this is a book or a TV show. I don't know anything about it. Maybe it's a brand new IP. Who knows?
This company is the company that put out the Evil Dead game and World War Z Aftermath and SnowRunner and Ghostbusters video game, the Ghostbusters video game that you liked. So they have an okay track record. Space Marines 2, Roadcraft, which was like a weird hit that came out of nowhere that people liked. Painkiller, and then they've got there's a new Hellraiser coming out as well that they're doing, and Turok Origins, which I believe was it says it's not out yet, but I thought they did another Turok game, but I'm not seeing it on their list, so I might be wrong there, but. They have a couple they have quite a few games coming out. They have Hellraiser, Toxic Commando, Turok Origins, and Jurassic Park Survival are all coming out under Saber Interactive. Yeah, that's all Saber, and they're the developers and the publishers. So
interesting. So
this is going to be interesting.
Focus Entertainment's doing John Carpenter's.
Yes,
looks like it's all unique. It's all original. I don't see anything about it being anything previous, like a story or anything.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
It has just John Carpenter's name on it. It's a co-op shooter or a co-op game as well.
Oh, it looks very. So the art style looks not what I expected. It looks okay. So this looks like it's gonna be sort of like your World War Z style zombie shooter. I'm seeing a lot of first person, third person-y. I mean, look, these kind of games, they're few and far between now. There was a while when they were coming out for quite a bit.
Yeah.
So these style of games have their audience. You know, they have their audience. They're a niche genre that has an audience, and you know, if it's done well, then it should do very well. I actually liked World War Z more than I did the big wannabe Left 4 Dead game. What was it? Back 4 Blood.
Yeah.
I didn't like Back 4 Blood. I
Which
didn't like the
is
card system. I didn't like the way they tuned the game. You either had the game was either too easy or too hard. There was no in between.
Yep.
And World War Z at least had like a relatively decent challenge while not being completely, you know, boring and easy. So yeah, you know, I'm for it.
World War Z is something that's on our bucket list eventually for us as a group to play
And finish, I think.
And finish, yeah.
We've played it.
No, well, I haven't played it with y'all at least. Maybe
okay, that's right. You haven't played it with us, neither has your one cousin, but it's so me, your cousin, and another couple members of our other friend group had played it together, and we played quite a bit of it. So you'll like it, I think, especially if you liked Left 4 Dead. Yeah,
the OG. The next two are definitely your stuff.
I mean,
no, maybe.
World of Warcraft Midnight is coming out, I believe, in October. You can already pre-order it, or you can already pre-buy it. I don't know. Like, so I've been taking a break from WoW. I resubbed this past week or two. No, two. It's been 2 weeks now because they dropped a whole bunch of new content. Where I was like, all right, let me see. And just like with the previous content drop, where I came back to try the new content, I'm like, this is just World of Warcraft, and I'm kind of bored of World of Warcraft right now.
Interesting.
I'm in my very big WoW drought, so it all feels samey. They're adding new gimmicks that feel like needless. Like, I get why they're doing it to try and make something different to make you do, but it feels like you're in an attempt to make things different. You're jumping through hurdles that make it unfun. Now with player housing, that is definitely something that people have been looking forward to. We've been looking forward to it for a long time. It looks like there's going to be instanced and uninstanced. There are areas that are going to be, I guess, live, but you know, anyone who thinks that that's going to go well, and with 40 billion people play this game over the course of their lives, they're going to have very limited places to put housing. It's going to be disastrous. The instance part should be okay. You know, being able to build and craft, it looks like there's going to be some kind of crafting system for the house specifically separate from you know, WoW crafting professions. It's going to be like a player housing crafting, and it's going to be different. And then you're obviously, there's going to be challenges that if you want specific items for your house that like revolve around maybe raiding, then there are obviously going to be ways to obtain that stuff, but it's not necessary. Like, if you want like the head of a boss and you're mounted on your wall, then you're going to obviously have to do that raid and kill that boss.
Okay.
But like, it looks like just basically having cool designs and things in your house isn't going to be something that you're going to have to jump through hurdles for. So that's good. Being able to invite people and whatnot, and show off your houses between your like groups. That's cool. Guild related housing. So if you're in a big guild, it's like a big guild community housing thing where everyone, I guess, is linked together. I don't know how it all works 100%, but that kind of stuff is interesting because it's something new, something that hasn't been done before, at least in the WoW community. So, and if there's anything when it comes to World of Warcraft, they are very good at stealing ideas and making them better to the point that people are ignorant and think that it's their idea. But hey, on the bright side, that means it's probably going to be good, right? Yeah. There's some other stuff that they're adding to the game. There's like a praise system where like you can take like a contract, and apparently like the contract that you can take out means you could be out in the open world questing, or maybe you're just doing your dailies, or maybe you're fishing, and then like the target of your contract will try and sneak attack you and assassinate you. That kind of stuff. I think it's NPC. I don't think it's PvP. So they're trying to do things to make just casual world like farming stuff be a little bit more of a challenge and exciting. Which, I mean, I'm never going to fault anyone for trying something different. Do I think it's going to work the way they want it to? Probably not. I think it's going to be something that, unless they make the rewards really worthwhile, I don't think it's going to be used all that much. But we'll see. It's more World of Warcraft. If you play World of Warcraft, you're probably going to play it at some point to at least get your max level. WoW's been doing this for 100 years. They know what they're doing by now. They very rarely fuck it up anymore. So at the very least, it's going to be more WoW that's hit or, take it or leave it.
Yeah. 4 years after the release, Age of Empires 4 is making its way over the PS5. We covered recently the amount of Microsoft games that have been transitioning over to the PlayStation 5, and how the Microsoft titles have dominated PSN. And I highly doubt Age of Empires will dominate the charts, but maybe it's a genre that I don't think the PS5 really has. So perhaps Age of Empires.
Age of Empires is just another, isn't it? Just another Civ style game.
Similar, yeah.
Similar. So I mean, if people aren't into Civ, then people are usually into Age of Empires. Like, there's usually, like, if I'm not mistaken, it feels like there's very much not a divided community, but usually I hear people like, oh, I really like Age of Empires. Oh, but I'm not a big fan of Civ. So it's more of that genre that for people to play, and more is never bad.
Definitely Age of Empires is more of like your old school, I would say, Command and Conquerors kind of thing, where you have a lot more action look at, whereas Age of Civ is definitely not action looking. You have, a couple little toys here and there moving, but this one you actually get to see your characters move a lot more on the ground.
Okay, well, that's good then.
Here's something I'm really excited about. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. I'm super excited because I
saw this on our docket and I knew this was a Joe thing.
I had a blast playing the Lego Star Wars Skywalker saga thing. You had all the movies in there. It was fantastic. Lego games are just good. Yeah, it's something you lose your mind in and just have a blast playing it. And so, it's going to keep with your typical, Lego theme where whatever happens, and you'll have all your iconic
like
characters.
Changing up the gameplay a little bit too, though, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Like, they were talking about how it's gonna, they developed the system specifically for Batman to be like a Batman style fighting style, so that he could fight how he fights, use gadgets, etc.
So there will be the following. These are just examples, but examples of taken from comic books or movies, etc. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman skin's going to be in there. Dan DeVito's Penguin, Batman Returns, from Batman Returns. Heath Ledger's Joker, Tom Hardy's Bane, and then Jeffrey Wright's Jim Gordon will also be in there. And unlike previous Lego games, which allowed players to control hundreds of different characters, Legacy of Dark Knight includes only 7 playable characters: Batman, Jim Gordon, Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, Catwoman, and Ra's al Ghul.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So that leads me up, makes me wonder, like, will there be DLCs? And apparently you'll be able to use the Batmobile, the Batcycle, and have different bat suits, all that kind of jazz.
It sounds like they're also going to throw in multiple generations of Batman stuff, though, because it sounded like, I remember them talking about how, like, you could pick from different versions of the Batmobile.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's going to be, like, the Dark Knight style Batmobile, the 70s, Batmobile, the Michael Keaton Batman Batmobile. So it seems like there's going to be like they're just kind of doing the everything, right? Like it's going to be like a definitive Batman, like the Batman of different generations. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that means different bat suits, etc. So I mean, it's definitely it's never a bad thing to get more of this kind of stuff. And the Lego series has always delivered on at least being mindless fun. And honestly, in this day and age, I think we could use a lot more mindless fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I'm all for it. I mean, it's not my thing, but I don't knock anyone for being excited about it.
It's rather interesting who they chose for the voice actor of Batman himself. Troy Baker would have probably been the chosen voice to go with, but maybe the pricing. But they didn't. They went with this individual name. I think it's Shai Matheson. He's done a lot of different things. He was in Star Wars Outlaws, Final Fantasy, Until Dawn, Torchwood, Helldivers 2. He's Alan Wake, Cyberpunk, Payday 3, etc.
Yeah, I don't know this person. I'm usually pretty good with voices and voice actors, and
Witcher
I do
2.
not.
Yeah, he's very known.
Interesting.
Done a lot of different roles, but he's definitely not your AAA guy, which makes sense because it's a Lego game. So the budget's going to be smaller. It's not going to be a #1 best-selling game of all time, likely. So interesting, very interesting choice for sure.
That's very like I probably know him. I just don't know him off of general look.
I'm
but
sure
that's
heard
interesting.
I'm sure we've heard his voice many of different times throughout all the games we've played.
Yeah, most likely.
And this was releasing in 2026 on 8,000 different consoles or 8,000 different systems. Switch 2, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox XS, all coming in 2026.
It's gonna be on everything, man. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on the phone. It's gonna be on the refrigerator. I mean, it's gonna be. It's a given.
Speaking of being on, Fallout Season 2 release dates will be on December 17th, 2025. Now, did you ever finish Season 1?
I did not. It's just one of those things where I didn't think it was a bad show, and I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't in the right, I guess you could say, headspace, mind space to watch it and fully enjoy it. And I'd rather enjoy something than potentially make a negative opinion on something just based purely on brain matter, brain worms. So I definitely need to catch up.
It's a good time, I think.
But it was good. What I watched was good. Like there was never. I think I only got 1 or 2 episodes in, and I didn't dislike any of it. It was just, like I said, it was just a headspace thing. So that tells me that when I do revisit it, that I'm not going to dislike it. That I'm going to enjoy it. I just, obviously with a release date of the 2nd season, it's good to see. In the world, and when we live in a world where Netflix will make us wait 3 years for 8 episodes, that we're getting, about a year later,
about
maybe
that.
a little over a year, about a year later, we're getting a new season, so that maybe we don't completely forget everything that's happened, or maybe we just need like a refresher. I like that.
Ella Purnell is the main actress in it, and she did a phenomenal job. I was concerned about her being picked. I didn't know a lot about her background, all that kind of jazz. She's an English actress, and when I first saw her, I was like, oh gosh, is she gonna be like one of those, girls that are very, very petite but can kick a lot of ass? But no, she has that sass, she has that charisma about her in the show. She has that like, I'm kind of here, but I'm not here kind of thing. Well, she did a phenomenal job. 10 out of 10 for her acting skills. Funny?
You know what's kind of funny too? When I look at pictures of her, she looks nothing like her Fallout character. When you look at like pictures of her, you're like, holy shit, that's the same person because of. And I know, obviously makeup and whatnot, but even skin tone. Yeah, she like her natural pictures. She's got like her skin tone looks different comparatively, so that's kind of that's kind of neat.
If they ever rebooted,
she was in Arcane as well.
I know they already have Wednesday, but I think she'd be a good Wednesday. She
She
kind of
would have
has
been.
that look, she has that goth kind of look. I think she could pull it off. If
Yeah,
Ortega ever like quits Wednesday, which she probably should, this girl I think could take over.
I mean, I at this point honestly because the Wednesday show was okay. I
loved it. I had fun with it.
It's not for me, but
I had a lot of fun. I don't like some of the changes they made, and I haven't watched season 2 yet, but I eventually will.
I haven't heard good things about season 2, but I also am not good. A lot of people are just mad because it's like, oh well, we waited 3 years for 8 episodes. I mean, people did forget that there was a writer's strike.
There was a writer's strike. Yep.
There, it's not 100% their fault.
I'm kind of just tired of Jenna Ortega.
and that's fair. And that's
just
fair.
tired of her. Like, I'm surprisingly. What's really interesting to me, and this has nothing to do with sexist or nothing like that, but I have no issues with Pedro Pascal. He's in everything. He was in 3 movies at one time in the theaters. I can keep watching Pedro Pascal, I think, to a point. I'm sure eventually I will get tired, but like I got tired of Chris Pratt. When Chris Pratt was in every single thing known to mankind for a while there. For whatever reason, Ortega, she seems to be in the movies that I have most interest in. And I'm like, And like
Beetlejuice, what she was in.
She's also very similar in every single movie. Her character, she's a goth actress, and she's been, what's the word?
I think that's more the reason why. I think that's more the reason why, because you're not burnt out on her as a person. You're burnt out on her roles. And that's the unfortunate.
Yeah, she's
and that's the unfortunate. Yeah, it's like why I really can't stand to watch any Dwayne the Rock Johnson movies, because he plays Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Is Dwayne the Rock Johnson playing Dwayne the Rock Johnson
in that new wrestling movie the new boxer movie? I can't remember what the movie's called. He looks really good. Like it's impressive. Look it up real quick. How do you spell it? There's a new.
Just look up. I'll just look up.
The
Dwayne
Smashing
Johnson.
Machine. Yeah, the Smashing Machines. What the movie's
the
called?
The Smashing Machine. I did not. That sounds like a terrible name for a movie, though.
Yeah, he's playing. It's a bio movie about who?
Okay.
Mark Kerr. He's a boxer.
Oh, okay.
But he has all kinds of cosmetics, or not cosmetics. What's it called?
Okay, so
they made his face look different. He sounds different in the thing.
Here's the thing, though. He's playing. This is why it's different, because he's playing an existing character he's playing a real person.
I see.
If you watch anything with Dwayne the Rock Johnson in it that's not like based off of a true story, he's Dwayne the Rock Johnson as Hobbs. He's Dwayne the Rock Johnson as Black Adam. He's Dwayne the Rock Johnson as whoever. Like they're all Dwayne the Rock Johnson, whereas this is something different. This is him playing an existing character. So I feel like that's a little not unfair, but a little bit. He gets the pass on that because he's not trying to play The Rock. He's trying to play Mark Kerr.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying with Jenna Ortega. Like she plays the same character. She's Wednesday. She was in Beetlejuice as she was the daughter in that. And like, who's basically like a goth character.
The same thing, and this goes back. We're talking, whatever, 20, 30 years ago. But the same thing I had issues with Bill Murray. Bill Murray, especially in the 80s and 90s, his character is the exact same. Groundhog's Day, Stripes, Ghostbusters. It's the same dude in every single movie.
It goes back to stuff like Arnold Schwarzenegger for me.
Arnold's the same too.
I never liked any Arnold Schwarzenegger film outside of like the original Terminator.
I love True Lies, man. True Lies was a classic. And Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, is what sold that movie, though.
Well, that was because Jamie Lee Curtis was in it, though. So
that's what I'm saying. That's why it sold.
Yeah, that's
if
fair.
It wasn't, all right. Moving on to the next.
yeah, because that's a whole different. That could be a whole different thing for a whole other day. But yeah, so because Sony didn't want to miss out on the price bumping, they decided that PlayStation 5s needed to have price bumps. So every console. Yep, $50 at least across the board. making their already struggling company decide that they needed to also struggle more by
Listen, their
making their shit
CEOs
more
don't make
expensive.
enough money, Mark.
You know, whatever.
They need a yacht. A new updated yacht.
They need a new updated yacht. I know someone who needs a yacht, whose yacht is sinking, but that's a whole different story for another day. But
Google announces the Pixel 10. The Pixel 10. I can't believe we're already
this
on
is a
the
you
10th.
thing. This
Yeah.
is a you thing.
There are 10 Pixels already. This is wild. I've owned, boy, what have I owned? Pixel 1, 2. I would say probably 6.
As an iPhone guy, I have no idea what you're dealing with and talking about.
It's a new iPhone per se. It's again, it's no new phone is anything that impressively different. It's new camera and it's MagSafe.
The
it's
iPhone.
AI.
What are we on? iPhone 17's coming, or 16 or 17.
Probably.
It's good. The iPhone 16 and the iPhone 75 are the exact same phone, minus like some pixel changes to their camera, maybe a port here, maybe a come on, like.
I used to be that sucker that would buy a new phone every year. I used to be it, but that stopped around COVID. One, because I had no money, but two, like I started realizing that I was wasting a lot of money buying the new phone every single year. And so now I've bought, and typically I go 2 to 3 years, and my wife gets me my hand-me-down phone, or I trade in and she gets something else. And so now I have the Pixel 9A, which is their cheaper Pixel version, and I got a good deal. I got it like $400 or something, and I won't get the 10. Maybe I'll get the 11A when that comes out. But again, it comes down to when the battery starts to get lower on me. That's when I'm like, all right, it's time to upgrade. Or if my wife has issue with their phone, I'm like, okay, I'll get the new one. You can have my hand-me-down then.
So, and that's kind of how we do things with the iPhone now too, because like I have an iPhone 14 because I needed some slight upgrades that the 14 was doing at the time. So my son got my hand-me-down 13. My wife's had 13 was giving her actual issues with charging and whatnot. So the 15 was out at the time, so she got the actual upgrade there. Now, I want to upgrade my phone from the 14 because I'm a VTuber now, and the tracking, the facial tracking, has gotten better from the 14 to the 16. So I would like to upgrade, but it's not bad enough for me to be like, I gotta go out and get it. Like maybe when the 17 comes out, if they say that the facial tracking is gotten even better, then I'll probably splurge for a trade-in for a 17. But we usually wait. My kids are on 13s when we're on a 16. We usually wait every 3 to 4 gens before we upgrade. That's just kind of how we've been doing it lately. Like, we're about to finish paying off these 13s, and then we'll completely own them.
Yeah.
And then we might splurge for like another phone that we have to pay on, but have these 13s kind of in storage in case anything ever happens to.
Oh yeah. It's always smart to have a backup.
Yeah. So if you're a Google Pixel, if you're a Pixel person, great. But these phone announcements are the same. If they waited 3 years, maybe I want to say 5, but I know 5 is asking too much. But if they waited like every 3 years to do a new upgrade, I feel like it would be something worth talking about. But the fact that they come out with a new phone almost every year or year and a half or whatever, like, just completely ruins any like excitement for a new phone for me. But yet there's still people out there.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. As someone whose wife works for UPS, she can tell you the new
iPhone
releases,
day is all delivered.
Woo! Yep.
Halloween, the game, is announced. It'll feature multiplayer and solo story mode. This has the chance to be good, but it is made by the same people that made Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which was released and a year later is down to $12. So the same people that made Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, released in 2023, was down to $5 now. And Predator, released in 21, that was down to like $5 a year later after it was released, is currently at $5. So their track record's not good. Now, to be fair, all of those games, Predator, Ghostbusters, and Kill the Crowns, all the servers are still running, all still active communities, but they're substantially smaller than what they were at launch.
I mean, this game's gonna if they play their cards right and they put it out around Halloween, it's gonna get a huge boost. It's gonna be big stream, especially with the multiplayer. You're gonna get tons of streamers getting their like fellow streamer friends, and you're gonna see them play shit out of it for a week or 2 weeks, and then that's it. It's gonna die it's gonna die a death.
John Carpenter is a producer, executive producer for the game as well. So that means it may be true to the original story, if there is any kind of story. The best part about this whole thing is that there is going to be a solo story mode, which is mostly why I like to play these kind of games. Same with Ghostbusters, even though you could play with bots, it's not really and there's like a little tiny story mode. We'll see how.
But what's the point? What's the point of a story mode based on a franchise that you already know about, right? Aren't you just replaying the story?
Well, it had to be a new story. Because, we only saw parts of the story, what happened that day. There are other houses Michael Myers went to go kill and, that. So
that's fair.
Yeah. Like, it could be good. Like Alien. Alien, when the Alien game came out, it's a whole new story of Alien. Took place, whatever, a few years or something after or before the movie. So, like, the same thing could be with the Halloween game.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I'll put a pin in the wait and see, and see what happens, because the Friday the 13th game was the Friday the 13th game, which is gone now.
Yeah.
Was a big hit, like like a cult big hit, right? Like I would see every Halloween for at least 5 years. I would see big patches of streamers play the game, and you get an influx of people buying the game so that they could play with friends. So this could be the next thing. You don't know. And now, speaking of the next big thing, Hollow Knight Silksong, September 4th release date. That's what, less than 2 weeks? That's less than 2 weeks.
Is that on your radar to purchase day one?
No, because I'm not a platformer person. I still need to play the original Hollow Knight. It is a game that I do want to eventually play, because I understand that yes, it is a kind of platform style, but it's not built straight up as just a platformer. There's more to it. It's a more complete style game than your straight up. The one thing I hated about another fantastically beautiful game, Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah, okay.
The biggest thing I hated about that game was the kind of the platformy elements that it specialized in being a platformer. That was its bread and butter. I feel like Hollow Knight is kind of a mixture of it's a platformer, but it's more, I guess. Would you call it a platformer, or is it more like Metroid, or is it more like Metroidvania, or is that the same thing? Like I never know.
Thing, I would say.
Yeah, I have Hollow Knight in my library though, so it's definitely, as I have so it's called a Metroidvania. So it's got Metroidvania Souls-like platformer. I definitely feel like it's a lot more actiony style platformer, which is definitely got my attention more than. Don't get me wrong, I loved Ori. I never beat it because I'm just terrible at those style of games, but it was one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. But because it was more platformery, more Metroidvania, I didn't enjoy it as much. Whereas I feel like Hollow Knight would be more my jam. So it's definitely kind of on that thing of it's one of those games where, as a gamer, you've got to eventually tackle it, right? Like you've got to eventually at least try and play it. It's like your Dark Souls. You need to at least have one Dark Souls under your belt, begrudgingly, whether you want to or not, or at least try to play the Dark Souls games. I think the same thing for like your Resident Evils. Even if you're not a Resident Evil fan or a horror fan, you need to at least try and play one or two of them. It's something like that. I think Hollow Knight is kind of gotten to that echelon of like, if you're a gamer, you need to have at least played it. You might not have to beat it, but you need to have at least played it and experienced it.
Yeah, I agree. It's anyone who's played it really seems to enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed too. Is like people who you wouldn't think are into those styles of games have played it and enjoyed it. Hell, I can tell you from experience. Um my about to be 18-year-old son, my youngest, and he's autistic. And he played this game and enjoyed it. And he was more into. He plays a lot of like Terraria, Minecrafty type games, and
Okay.
he played Hollow Knight and beat it and enjoyed it. So that tells you that someone who goes from like a building game to this style of game and can enjoy it tells you that there must be something special about Hollow Knight.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of apparently something special, Superman is the first superhero movie of 2025 to fly past $600 million at the global box office. Fantastic Four is inching closer towards the 500 million. There's always been the question of which one would outsell which, and I'm quite surprised that Fantastic Four is that close. You know, they're $100 million away from Superman, which
agree.
a lot of money, but everyone has said the word Superman. Not everyone has said the word the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, look. I'll say what I have my reservations of watching the Superman film, even though I also wanted to believe that it would be good because it's James Gunn. I also had my hesitations because watching the trailers and watching how full the trailers seemed of things, it was like this. It gave me Amazing Spider-Man 2 vibes, where like I wanted to like that movie. I did like that movie to a certain extent, but they put too much into that film, and that's where it fell flat. And that's where I thought Superman was going to do.
Sure.
But apparently not.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, there's a lot. The people who have seen it have enjoyed it quite a bit. I know people who've seen the film 4 or 5 times, and are still like digesting it. Fantastic Four. I haven't heard as many people say, "Yeah, I went to see this thing 2 or 3 times." That being said, Marvel has been on a decline for a while. Seeing this movie do as well as it did is something that you love to see, because Marvel used to be like the sure thing, right? Like you knew a Marvel movie was coming out and you'd be like, oh shit, I can't wait to go see that. That's going to be at least a good time.
Yeah.
And then Endgame happened. And then after Endgame, it was just like, oh, I don't know if I want to see that Marvel film. Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, Marvel's not doing so good right now.
Mhm.
And yeah, they would put out an occasional decent thing, like WandaVision was a fantastic show. But their movies were very, very. I mean, even Doctor Strange with the and the Multiverse of Madness, I don't think did well.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't. They haven't really had a big hitter for a bit. They're banking.
I think Spider-Man's the only thing that's sustained, and you can't really call it Marvel, even though it's Marvel.
It's Sony.
It's still technically under Sony's umbrella.
Yeah, and they're banking. Marvel Studios banking on the next Spider-Man movie in 2026 and Avengers: Doomsday to really, propel them into the future. Now, here's something. Go ahead. Oh,
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We know it's going to do well, right?
Yeah.
Even if the movie ultimately ends up being bad, the fact that everything's revolving around a returning Robert Downey Jr. has got people intrigued enough that people are going to go see it. I'm not going to lie and say that I'm not interested.
I'll see it. There's no doubt I'll see it. There's no doubt.
Exactly. So they know what they're doing. Yeah. It's just a matter of will they pull it off.
So Spider-Man is the best-selling U.S. Superman is a U.S. best-selling ever movie of a Superman movie. Okay, this new one, 347 million sense. Domestically. Zack Snyder's Man of Steel made 291 million domestically. However, Man of Steel, starring Henry Cavill as Superman, did much better internationally, bringing in $379 million for a global total of $670 million, a number that Superman likely won't beat. So the Henry Cavill Superman is going to on track right now to do better than this new Superman.
Well, we'll have to see, right? Like
globally.
Superman is an international, character.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would say he was mostly American.
Red, white. I mean, sorry,
exactly.
red and blue.
Exactly.
with the suit.
Just like Captain
America.
Just like that'd be like saying Captain America is a huge character over in China.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, but I get it, right? Like, and then you also think about it. This has got to be This has got to be one of the best-selling movies post COVID, right?
Oh, yeah.
COVID killed the industry, and I honestly felt like it was going to be gone.
Yeah, theaters are starting to bounce back slowly but surely because there's more, unique stuff coming out now. Obviously, Superman's not unique, but what I mean by that is this one surprised me. Brad Pitt's F1, and Formula One is like really hot right now in the U.S. and has always been for the world, but it's really hot in the U.S. right now. Formula One F1 made $603 million. $603 million. It's an Apple movie, and it's Apple's best-selling movie ever. That's impressive. That's an impressive. And then Weapons, which is it's a horror thriller movie, very low budget, but that did $116 million.
Who did Weapons though? What was the studio? Was it
It's a big studio. I don't remember off the top of my head who did it, but it was a bigger studio for sure. Warner Brothers or something like that. But yeah, so they're definitely movies are on the way back. Weapons is a unique kind of movie. F1 is definitely a unique kind of thing.
I feel like
we're seeing some unique.
I feel like with Superman, people were just so desperately wanting a DC film to be good.
Yeah.
That also, propelled it. And then you put someone with a like him or hate him, James Gunn has a good track record.
Yeah,
you put James Gunn behind this film, and people are going to give it the benefit of the doubt. And it seems like the Gunn, the Gunn, I guess the Gunn DC franchise is here to stay.
I have concerns with it though, because now they're giving him too much power right off the bat. I'm like, okay, well, eventually he's going to make wrong decisions because he is human, and he's going to eventually have an ego. So eventually it's gonna snap badly, and then he's gonna be out.
We will remain, see what happens. But
and that's why,
for now,
I really love the approach that Christopher Nolan took with Batman, because each one of the Dark Knight movies was fantastic, freaking epic cinema, right? And he could have done a fourth.
I argue that the third was the worst of the.
There was a drop off, yeah, for sure. But obviously they had it planned, that Heath Ledger was going to be there. So that was a hole they had to fill. But Warner Brothers went to Nolan and said, "Hey, let's do a fourth one." He said, "No, I'm done. Hands are washed." He could have taken a paycheck, man, and cashed that hard, but he did not. He stuck to his guns and said, "No, we're done. I told my story. Someone else can do it next," and it hasn't bounced back since.
Then that goes to show you that that's a director that had a very good mind frame of, I have a story to tell. I told my story. I'm not milking it, and we'll see what happens. Like,
I'm concerned with James Gunn with every super this, super that, super that.
Until James Gunn puts out a bad movie, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, once he starts putting out a bad film, that's when we're going to start looking for the cracks, right? We're going to look at the cracks and see, this movie wasn't as good. What's wrong with it? And then it's going to you're going to see those cracks continue to spread over the next film and the next film, because very rarely do the cracks start to form and then they get sealed, right?
Yeah.
Look at Star Wars.
Yeah.
Look at Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It was a good film that basically rewrote it
It's a modern era of Star Wars.
Yeah, but it was what was the first film? Holy shit. A New Hope, right?
Yeah.
So it was A New Hope, and you should have followed up with Return of the Jedi or whatever. My brain is not, I can't remember. There's been so many Star Wars movies, I can't remember which one is which anymore.
Yeah.
But obviously, you instead of following up with an episode 5, you got The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And then instead of following up The Last Jedi with the story that The Last Jedi told, they decided, no, we want to completely shit on everything that Last Jedi did because that wasn't the story we wanted to tell originally, which was their own fault for deciding that they couldn't wait for the director to deal with his personal problems. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that the director had an immensely tragic death in the family.
Yes, he did.
And so he stepped out of directing this film instead of letting the director grieve and take the time from their precious Star Wars franchise that was going to sell regardless if you waited 1 year, 5 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, it was going to do well regardless. No, they decided, no, we need it right now. And so instead of building off of The Last Jedi, they decided they needed to shit on it and do what they did with Skywalker, whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
And you got this trash.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that was completely on Disney there. That was on Disney and Disney's greed to say, look, we want a Star Wars movie now, not when you're ready to direct.
It's also like wild to think that Disney's been low key when it comes to the Marvel stuff, but yet they were like aggressive with Star Wars. And I guess is because Star Wars is just such a much bigger IP than Marvel. So they're like,
look at the money. Look at the money that they spent. Look at the. I think if you look up the money they spent to acquire Star Wars,
they made their money back from one movie.
Yeah, but look at how much they spent to acquire Star Wars compared to what they spent to acquire Marvel. Wasn't there a big difference?
Oh yeah, that was huge. That was a massive difference.
Exactly, and then you could see why that they force-fed Star Wars down our throats.
Yeah,
because we spent blah 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 a billion, I believe, right? Dollars to acquire them.
Yeah, it was something around that. It was insane.
They spent billions to get Star Wars. I don't think they spent billions for Marvel.
$4.05 billion to acquire Star Wars.
And how much did they spend to get Marvel?
Marvel, $4 billion. So
okay,
the same.
So about the same. Okay,
about the same.
Then I guess I'm wrong. I don't know. Then I don't know. Maybe you know what it is though. Maybe they thought that they knew that they were going to get their money back on Star Wars more assuredly than Marvel.
Probably
because by the time they acquired Marvel had been going for a while, and so you could probably see the drop coming. Where Star Wars, there usually wasn't a drop. So it could have been something as simple as that. I don't know, but you know, we'll see what happens in the future with James Gunn. We'll see what Marvel does.
Disney, it's projected that Disney made $12 billion since they bought Star Wars.
Okay,
so they've made
sense.
4 times their money. Well, 3 times their money back.
I'm assuming they don't have that kind of statistic though on Marvel, do they?
Probably not.
Okay, that would be an interesting tell because I feel like they probably made their money back with Marvel, but I don't think it's as substantial.
Here we go. Estimated to generate $13 billion.
I am just full of shit today. I don't know what I don't. Okay.
So they actually, by this standard, this is estimate, of course, they potentially made more money off of Marvel than they did off of Star Wars.
Is it because they have more franchises? Maybe. It's got to be, right? Like you have Iron Man, Thor, Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Captain America. Maybe that's got to be it. Where Star Wars is kind of Star Wars.
Yeah, $25 billion in investments.
I don't know then. Then the mindset then doesn't make any sense. The mindset doesn't make any sense on why you would force feed us Star Wars then and not just wait for the director to be ready to direct.
Yeah.
When Marvel was nowhere near as force fed to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting.
That is baffling to me.
Also,
okay, well,
baffling is not really baffling, but James Cameron. So James Cameron, people know about him. You know, he made this little movie called, I don't know, what's it called? Terminator or something? I
actually didn't know he made Terminator.
He was this, he brought in this dude that really didn't really have a big career. Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, he says that Terminator 7 is hard to write because of real life events. And so this is interesting, and this is a quote. I'm tasked with writing a new Terminator story, but I don't know what to say that won't be overtaken by real events. We're living in science fiction age right now.
I mean, to be fair, Terminator hasn't been good since Terminator 2.
Yeah. And he said that
Terminator 3 wasn't good, Terminator 4 wasn't good, and anything that came after that was dreadful.
Yeah. So
you know what I think? I think they should let the franchise die and never be seen again, or reboot it, or reboot it completely with part 1, and obviously have a new Terminator, because Arnold Schwarzenegger is too old. He cannot be the Terminator for much longer, if at all. He is a very old man now.
Well, they kind of did a good job at kind of closing the story with the last one, Dark Faith. But it can open up they could do kind of like what they do with Marvel, where you have an alternate universe. They could do the same thing with Terminator, realistically.
Ooh, I have a great idea. Let's do Terminator 7, but the Terminator is actually Donald Trump. He rips off the orange makeup and the Cheeto powder, and it's fucking and he's really a Terminator.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
Print it.
Well, so okay, realistically, it makes sense why he's having a hard time, because obviously the Terminators are AI robots, and robots made other robots, and move forward and all that kind of stuff. Eventually, in the movies, you find out that we gave these AI units free range to do whatever they want with the nuclear weapons, and eventually they drop the nukes here on planet Earth and kill off all these people, and then you fast forward and the world is the world as it is in the Terminator shows or movies.
Shows. There were shows.
Yeah. AI isn't anywhere close to that right now, not even remotely close to that, but it could be on the building blocks. My wife I remember we went on a drive a while back ago, and she was all concerned about AI, and I explained to her where we currently are, but she's like, well, that doesn't mean we're not going to be where it is in the Terminator world in 20 years or 30 years. I was like, well, there's a possibility. There's a possibility.
Just give me my AI generated sex bot, and I'll be happy.
So I don't know. It's interesting to think about the parallels with, Terminator and how things have become in some ways very similar, but also very opposite, and of course we're not quite there yet. AI is still a gimmick and that, but the moment we give it access to free reign, do whatever it wants to, then we have concern. As of right now, it's all contained, it's all on rails, it's all basic. And the chances of it getting to where we have our science fiction is very slim. We'll all be dead by then.
James Cameron isn't exactly a spring chicken. He's been around a while. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the same guy who put out Titanic.
Yep.
He's the same guy who's trying to give us 7 or 8 Blue
Avatar.
People movies.
Yeah.
And those movies take a long time to put out.
He's 71.
I think he even said, and correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he say in an interview one time that the movie that he wants to make can't be made because technology isn't there yet? I believe he's the same person, and now he's 71.
Yeah.
He's theoretically he could do this for another 10, 15 years and be in his late 80s and still direct. But let's be realistic. Is he going to? I don't know. So I don't know.
I don't know if you ever saw Alita. Alita Battle Angel. I love that.
Battle Angel.
I loved it. There's supposed to be another one.
I watched the original. So here's the thing. I watched the original anime series for it, and it was an original manga series, and the manga series was fantastic. Oh. And they did a very good job adapting and representing a modern real version of this Japanese-based manga. And to the point that I felt like it was easily the best anime adapted to live action film that had come out, period.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Because Ghost in the Shell was terrible. I'm still waiting on Akira. Yeah, there was supposed to be another Battle Angel Alita, because there's still a huge story to tell, and I hope
I'm guessing it
we'll
didn't
get one,
sell
but I don't
well.
think we will.
Yeah.
No, it did not do well, unfortunately, but it was so well done, and it's a shame.
And my wife and I talk about it often, how there's so many movies that her and I love. We talked about it here on the podcast too. Warcraft is an example we absolutely love. I think we talked about King Arthur. You saw it or didn't see it? I can't remember. But,
Yeah.
absolutely love that. There's so many movies that we love so much because we don't look at it as, oh, well, it's not exactly to the T correctly how the game is or how the comic is.
You can't do that.
Yeah, it's its own thing. As long as it does a good job at executing what it's trying to execute, then that's what matters.
You cannot take something that was made in a video game format, or in this instance, a manga/anime, where the drawings are completely different. When you were trying to make a live action adapted version of something that was based on drawings, for example, there's no way you're going to do 1-to-1, not make it look ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's better to adapt it to make sense for the viewing audience than just to be completely 100 to a T accurate. As long as the semblance of the story is kept and it makes sense for the media that we are watching, is all that should matter.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I think people just, especially in today's time, they just take things a little too seriously. Why
they do.
So serious? Well, Mark, we are over an hour on our episode. I didn't expect it to be this long. It's one of our long ones, but we touched a lot of stuff today. Into a lot of stuff. I shouldn't say touch a lot of stuff because you might take that the wrong way.
Every now and then you need to put your hands on things. Anyways, but yeah, I agree with everything you said.
Yeah. Do you want to shout out to your awesome new channel you have going here?
So I run 2 channels on YouTube because I went back to streaming. Streaming is something that I don't plan on completely giving up on, but you could definitely say that my mindset isn't there, right? So I decided to focus more on the YouTube end, and I run 2 channels. It is the at Hisoka RPG. Main channel is for Hisoka Unboxes. It's where basically anything new that I buy, like Transformer figures or any of my anime characterines or figurines and whatnot, I will unbox them, review them on there. It's doing pretty well. And then I also have a new channel called at Hisoka Reaction, which is Hisoka Reacts, where I use my VTuber model. And there I am reacting. Currently, I'm only reacting to music. But the eventuality of it is I do want to add big things like Gamescom stuff. For example, if I would have done it, I could have reacted to that, reacting to trailers, reacting to Daily Dose of Internet, just general reactions. Right now, it's just music. But so it's at Hisoka RPG and at Hisoka Reaction. Both of them are very small channels, but they are doing pretty well considering they're new channels, and that's what I'm doing with myself right now.
Cool. Well, I'm excited for Mark and to see his progress, how he's doing. As always, thanks everyone for listening and watching our episode of Pixel Realms. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.